Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to show you a 1977 Western Electric Sculptura telephone, also known as the donut telephone because of its circular shape. This telephone was part of the Design Line series of Western Electric. The Design Line series started in the 1970s, and it allowed the customer to be a little bit more creative with the telephones, and allowed them to match their interior design, something more stylish, more modern compared to the standard Model 500 and trim lines and Princess telephones. So the concept of the Design Line telephones was that the customer owned the housing of the telephone, but the bell, or the transmitter and signaling components are what the telephone company still owned. And then eventually, after the breakup, they owned the whole phone basically. The Sculptura telephone was designed by Donald Gennaro, and the Sculptura telephone came in 3 different colors: brown, white, and yellow. Along with the rotary models, they also had the push button models. The Design Line telephones all had similar components to what were found in either trim lines or the Model 500s that were still being made at the time. So they would have the similar ringers, similar networks, and such. So they kind of match the 500s. This one happens to have a ringer that is found in a trimline telephone. It's a single gong ringer, and it can be adjusted by a slider which is found on the bottom of the telephone. But let me go ahead and show you all. I got this telephone back in 2020, just before the pandemic, $5. But this one, of course, is in the brown color. And it's very, very cool, very curvy. This handset can be taken apart by taking these 2 caps off. You can screw them off, and this telephone handset, these 2 pieces come apart. And it's got a similar transmitter and receiver as found in a trim line. Doesn't have a very long handset cord. Of course, there's not really a long one needed. Let me show you the dial here. Now, this dial, I believe, is another 9CA dial. And has a different bezel on it. It's kind of this brushed metal with the black numbers. It's a plastic overlay with black numbers printed. And then you got this center here that's also a brushed metal, but it's kind of circular the way the brush is, because you also got this center where it's kind of like radiating out a little bit, which is kind of neat. It is metal too. It's a very thin metal, but it's metal. This is your plunger here to hang up the telephone, and this is the little window you can put your number card. So let me to get one of those electric, or the motor, the turntables with the motor, so I can turn it without having to, do it by hand. That's the back of it, and that's the other side. Now this telephone's missing the rubber footed on it because it dry rotted off, so I'm gonna have to get some little bumpers or something to replace it with. Here's the bottom of the telephone. So you can see on this sticker that says the telephone housing is your property. To assure quality of service, all working parts, including the dial, cords, and electric components, remain the property and responsibility of the Bell Telephone Company. You can see Western Electric, and this phone has its own serial number. There's the adjuster for the ringer. It's that slider I was telling you about. And then you have vermilion stamps here on the bottom. These 4 screws, 2 here and 2 here, will help you remove the housing, and they come in 2 parts. Not only do those screws do that, they will also help take that one apart and that one. So yeah. Here's the sound of the dial. Let me spin it for you. Okay, so now what I'll do is I will get the machine and we will demonstrate the telephone for you all. And just like always, I will pick up the handset for you all and give you dial tone. And we'll check the transmission. The transmitter is working just fine. You can see the change in the light as I speak into the handset. Dial a few numbers. Okay, and last but not least, the ringer. Alrighty, pictures are coming up next. I hope you enjoyed this video. There are more to come. Have a great day.